Welcome to this week's episode of Success in Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And recently we've had an episode on your mental and physical well-being. Well, today we're going to actually continue that conversation, but we're going to be talking about how nutrition actually plays a part in your physical and mental health. But before we get started, Andrea's got her tip of the week.
Well, since we're talking about nutrition, I know you buy fruits and you buy vegetables and they don't always last that long. And there are ways, and I'm going to later on maybe find some tips on how to preserve your fruits and vegetables, because they ripen or they go bad very quickly. But just before you think you need to throw them out, put them in a baggie, throw them in the freezer. Because with the fruits, you can make smoothies galore, and you don't have to use the fresh. You can have those just as a light snack, but the ones that are just about to turn bad, throw them in the smoothie blender. Or with the vegetables, especially like celery, onions, and carrots and broccoli, they're great to throw in a soup or stews, things like that, where you don't need that maybe crunch or fresh taste, and they do the job. So that's my what I've done a lot.
It's a great tip, and I'll tell you, Andrea, with bananas especially, because they turn very quickly, I just peel them and bag them so that they're good for my smoothie.
Peeling them, I know a lot of people throw them in with the skin, but then they become, you can if you're using them banana bread, say, but they're a little bit black and mushy. But when you peel them and freeze them, they come out beautiful.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, the reason I like doing that is because then I don't have to put ice in my smoothie to water it down. My banana is basically my ice now, because it's using the frozen banana. But also, before I left Florida, I had bought a big bag. Everything at Costco is a big bag. So I had bought lemons to have lemon water every day, and I had a lot left by the time I left Florida. So I threw the whole bag of lemons whole in the freezer, because the time that I had done that before, when I came home in between on my winter time in Florida, I had these lemons and I thought, I'm not getting rid of them. They were still good. So I put them in the freezer. Oh my God. I never knew this before I tried it this spring, but they actually froze so good. I put them on the counter for, overnight. The next morning, they're really nice and soft. Just cut it, squeeze, and the lemon came out really, because they got really softer. And it was so nice to have that lemon water with a frozen, well, it wasn't frozen anymore, but it worked perfect. Wonderful. So then that's why I didn't care when I bought the big bag at Costco, because I knew I wasn't going to finish it before I went back for the season, but I also knew that they would freeze well.
Perfect.
So it was really great.
Perfect.
But anyway, so we want to talk about, how nutrition plays a part. And I can tell you, even from my own experience with my mother doesn't like vegetables. And part of that, she has a problem with, I'm going to say, regularity and all the other stuff, because people don't realize the importance of food and how it impacts your body. And I keep saying, Mom, even if you just have a few bites, she's like a little kid sometimes. She doesn't want to eat her vegetables. And I wish they'd kind of mix it into some of her other food just so that she gets it. But one of the other things that you can do now, my mom lives in a nursing home now, but one of the things that you can do is grind flaxseed, and almost anything that you're cooking, especially sauces. When you mention stews and soups, flaxseed doesn't, even if you sprinkle it on your cereal, it's really good for your digestive and that extra fiber kind of thing. And I remember years ago, a colleague of mine told me, he used to ask people, and this isn't just for your physical and mental well-being, but if you want to live longer, he used to ask his older clients, what's your secret? What's your secret? And it happened to be flaxseed. Wow. The common denominator happened to be flaxseed on a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And when you have certain foods, your mood changes. And on Thanksgiving, when people overindulge in some of those carbs and all the other
especially
heavy stuff.
Turkey. Turkey makes you sleepy.
So you've got some stuff written there for energy, because that's what a lot of people lack, is the energy.
Those are the two important things I wanted to focus on today, was energy and brain food, because that's two of the the things that we really like to have top notch every day. Your energy level and your brain focusing, not a lot of people have brain fog or maybe their memory's going. And so those I thought were really two important things for helping in your well-being and for success in anything that you do.
Yes.
So when I looked up and I'm always looking for the right foods to eat also, because, if you were going to live, I want to live as young as I can.
Yes.
And speaking about your mom being in a nursing home, you don't want to end up there if you don't have to. Mind you, she's 90 something and it's just recently that she got to that point.
Right.
But, if you can avoid it by eating the right foods. And it's not to say go out and one of the great foods for energy is eggs. And for years they had such a bad rap about
That's
cholesterol and all of this.
That is true.
But now they're saying eggs are very high in protein, and they're high in vitamin B, amino acids.
Do you remember as well when they had the bad rap, but then all of a sudden people were getting egg white omelets, but they were missing the nutrients of the egg yolk, which gave them so much.
Right. And it has a leucine, which helps build muscle mass. So, and of course, if your muscle mass is strong, you have more energy and you can burn more calories. So now they're saying, for me, myself, being on Weight Watchers, I have eggs every morning, 2 eggs every morning. And it really does boost me. I don't feel sluggish at 10 o'clock or whatever, and it holds you till at least lunchtime.
And I was going to say, that's the other thing, believe it or not, people keep saying that no nutrition is that eggs will keep you full longer. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always feel like it's a lot of food.
I know.
But it somehow does.
Right, the protein,
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing that kind of gives you a little boost is caffeine, which we normally get from coffee or tea. So
and that's another thing that was a bad rap that they're saying is very healthy for you, in moderation, like everything.
Well, everything is, of course.
Yes.
Edamame, they have
love that.
B complex vitamins, protein, and fiber. And then, of course, nuts. Now, nuts are full of protein and good carbs and good fatty oils. And I find that myself during the day, if I'm feeling, you're starting to feel the hunger pains. And I always try to have a little baggie of mixed nuts, and I'm not talking like peanuts. I'm talking walnuts and pistachios, almonds. Those 3 are good. Cashews, peanuts, and they're okay for fillers, but they don't have the nutrients that the other 3 have. And I find just a handful, just a little handful, calms the hunger pains and gives me a little boost of energy. Pumpkin seeds, very high in good carbs, protein, and fat. Also magnesium, zinc, and phosphorus. So we need those minerals, to keep the body feeling healthy. And I find with magnesium too, it helps if you have leg cramps, tired legs.
And restless legs. Because I was taking for the longest time magnesium at night because it actually calmed my legs down. Not that they were the restless one. My friend had restless legs and she had to take it, but I had other issues, and it really makes a huge difference. And I, for whatever reason, wasn't getting it in the foods. Enough of it anyway.
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of great things out there for you, but they're hard to find, and so you have to maybe supplement with different things. The one berry that's supposed to be amazing for energy is the goji berry.
Oh, I know about goji berries.
Oh, good.
Now, let me tell you, they are so full of antioxidants. But one time, because I love the taste of goji berries, and so I had this baggie, and it's a pretty full baggie, but you only need a little handful. The problem was I was on a road trip, and I was just eating them to the point where literally I ended up getting a rash because I overindulged myself. There's too much antioxidants in it. So again, it's this moderation thing.
Moderation, because a lot of the foods that are high in the good fats, they also have calories. So you have to balance
But even in the
what you're eating.
antioxidants, because
And
everything
that
is being
also.
processed through your
Right.
body, and you're making your body work harder to
Yes.
eliminate it. And I just love the taste of it. But you know, it's like anything; they're great in moderation.
Exactly. So those are a few of the things that you can think about adding to your diet. You know, and if those are items that maybe you're not crazy about, you can always go online and, you know, just type in foods that help create energy in the body, and you'll be amazed at what comes up.
So one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people don't put enough importance on what they're putting in their body. And we're talking about nutrition for the brain and the energy, because I know a lot of people, you know, we get tired and we do get the brain fog because we're not maybe sleeping enough or
Right.
soundly. So we need the food to help us. But where nutrition, in my opinion, because I've encountered this with a lot of people, is when you have cancer, you've actually been diagnosed with cancer, you have to starve your cancer so it doesn't grow. And by certain foods, you can do that. It will shrink the cancer. So for example, if you're going to continue on a path of, say, indulging in sweets and I'm going to say, you know, white sugar, which is really bad.
Yeah,
There's other,
refined
there's,
carbs, yeah.
yes, there's other refined foods, processed foods that you can't take because you're actually feeding the cancer. You might think you're
Right.
feeding yourself and getting yourself full and satisfied, but what you're doing is feeding the cancer. And if you want to at least give your body a shot at, I'll say,
To fight, to help
to fight
fight.
the cancer, to possibly live much longer,
Right.
you need to starve the cancer. And that's where nutrition becomes so, so, so important. And having more of these, you know, green vegetables, having a lot more natural fruits instead of like other refined sugars and sweets that,
Exactly.
you know, satisfy the sweet tooth, but is very unhealthy for your body. And I'm not saying, like, even if you don't have cancer, of course, you want to eat healthy. You can treat yourself once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you've got cancer, if you can eliminate most of any refined foods, the white sugars,
Yeah.
that will help
Anything
you.
white, they say. White
Yeah, anything-
flour,
yeah.
white rice, white bread. Anything white is not
Except
good
for
your
cauliflower,
body.
because you know that
Yeah.
they're even replacing potatoes with the cauliflower mash and stuff. Supposed to be very healthy for you.
absolutely. The cauliflowers, since this keto diet came
Yes.
into effect, it's really been helpful. And they found all kinds of ways to use it, like to make pizza, to make mashed potatoes, or the cauliflower rice. And as a matter of fact, when we were in Florida at Trader Joe's, they have a cauliflower rice medley of veggies, like a Mexican style.
Oh,
It was delicious. I could have ate that every day, all day long.
wow.
And I can't find it here, but in Canada.
What's really nice about when you get to discover some of the foods that you might not
Right.
have really been looking at,
Right.
and for whatever reason that you've decided, whether it's for diet, whether it's for, you know,
healthy
health,
lifestyle, yeah.
yes. And then you discover, like, oh my God. So in my family, one of my family members started to change the way she eats. And what happened is that she's going, oh my God, this is really good. Doesn't miss all the other crap that she used to eat and all the processed stuff.
Right.
Because she's eating so much better, but foods that she wouldn't even have bothered trying it. Because I'm always,
Exactly.
for years, trying to get her to eat healthier and stuff, you know, and you don't want to put that crap in your body. But again, as a treat in moderation, fine.
For sure.
But, you know, it's like one of those things when you start discovering that a smoothie can taste like dessert.
Right.
You know, it's like, whoa,
That's
where
good.
have this been? Because,
Right.
you know, getting to start off your
And,
day.
and also another thing is the water. Water is so good for you. And I drink water constantly, and I don't need it flavored. But I hear so many people say, I hate water. I can't stand water. But there's so many ways to spice it up. Like you can cut up cucumbers,
Yes.
watermelon,
Lemon.
lemon, and orange. I don't particularly like lemon in the water, but I
No.
love oranges.
Oh.
So I cut up a bunch of oranges, and it changes the flavor, you know? So there's ways to do it to get the nutrition in you.
Yeah, it's always interesting though when I hear about people saying they hate water, they hate the taste
I
of
know.
water. And one of the things that I've noticed is that when the water, I mean, you can buy bottled water and stuff. I really don't. I mean,
No,
not just,
filtered water's the way to go.
you know, so as long as you have a really good, clean tasting water, which has no taste,
Right.
I love that
It's
taste.
so refreshing.
You know, it's really, it is refreshing. And I enjoy drinking water. And sometimes I'm like not drinking enough only because I'm trying to make it stretch, but not because there's a shortage of water because I have to walk down to the kitchen to go and get it. But I literally, if people were putting it in front of me, just like green tea, and green tea has a lot of antioxidants and stuff.
And that's when we get to the brain food.
What do you mean?
That's part of my
The brain
on the
food?
list of
Oh,
for brain to
is
help
it?
your brain.
Well, no wonder my brain's working most of the time when I'm
Yeah.
at the office because I drink green tea all day long.
Right.
My assistant bought me a hot plate. So my tea is always hot because it's
Nice.
easy when you're working to get distracted and forget about drinking the tea and then it's cold. And I don't
Right.
like cold tea or cold iced tea or whatever. I'm not an iced tea person and I'm not an iced coffee person. If I was going to drink coffee, it's got to be hot. If
Right.
I'm going to drink tea, it's got to be hot.
Oh.
But I drink at work only green tea and water.
Good. I got to start drinking more tea. I'm not a tea person, but I like to drink the green tea. So now we're going to get to the brain and the foods,
good.
the foods that help with the brain. And one of the highest foods for antioxidants and helps detoxify the liver, which helps increase the blood flow to the brain, are beets.
Oh, yes.
Beets. And I have just, when I was younger, I could not eat those beets. But now I'm loving them. My girlfriend, who they're Polish,
Yeah.
they have chopped up beets to put on sandwiches. This borscht, which I love, the beet soup. So I'm getting more of the beets in my system.
Do you know that when I would go to restaurants that had the salad bars and stuff, I'm not a big buffet person, but
Right.
when I've been in those situations, one of the things I always look for is the beets and the cottage cheese. And I like that combination. It seems weird, but I always, if I'm going to have my salads and stuff on, I love the beets and I love having the cottage cheese along with the salads to go with it. But
Good.
beets are always something I've enjoyed. Borscht was something I wouldn't even try as a kid.
Oh,
And
it's
now
so
I can't
good.
get it anywhere, but I love
Right.
it.
Well, if you go to the Polish stores, you'll be able to find it. Now, the other superfood, and this has been a real trend lately, is avocado.
Oh, I love
And
avocado.
that is a superfood for many reasons, but it's also rich in folate and vitamin K, which improve cognitive brain function. I think I need to eat some. But there's this, who I've been following lately is Dr. Grundy.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and he's, very conscious about gut health.
Yes.
And I've been following him, and he says one of the best foods on the planet is avocado.
Really.
And
it's
I'm not
high in
an-
fat,
I'm-
but
But it's a good,
good
fat,
fat. Yep.
which helps for the brain and for your whole body. And he calls it like a superfood. So,
I love avocado.
and if he says it, I believe it.
Yeah. Now, you've read his books, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
and the books are excellent. If you really want to find out a little bit more about how nutrition and your body works kind of thing,
Yeah.
it would be worth getting his books because they are an interesting read.
To follow his diet is very difficult, but he has, obviously, he sells vitamins
supplements,
or
yeah.
supplements to help battle the gut
Yes. Because
health
a lot of people have
without
problems.
following his
Yeah.
complete diet, because I couldn't do it. The other good thing is, of course, broccoli. It's very high in vitamin K, also vitamin C
broccoli.
and fiber, which helps with memory function and focus. Dark chocolate, everyone's gonna love
Yay!
that.
I always try to have some in my fridge. I mean, I keep my chocolate in my fridge. My
Yes.
sister doesn't like that.
Now
but
it should
I
be
love.
70%
Yes,
cocoa.
yes,
because-
70 or more, yeah.
Yes, and that helps brain
Yeah.
blood flow to the brain.
Wow.
So
Wow.
get out there, girls, and buy your chocolate.
Or tell your husband or partner.
Yes. Salmon. Salmon is high in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduces brain fog and increases memory and concentration. Again, I'm not a fish
Oh, you
person.
don't eat fish, but I love fish.
Yes.
And if you can, buy the wild caught.
Yes.
Especially BC still has a lot of wild caught, and you'll see that in the grocery store versus the farm raised. It's just a healthy alternative.
Right.
Yeah.
So, of course, I have to take it in supplements.
Yes.
But also now with the eggs, they have the omega-3 eggs now that you can buy.
Yes.
Walnuts, which are my favorite.
I love it in banana bread.
Right. Well, they're rich in minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, so which help the brain. But I do love, and like I said, just a handful will take off that hunger pain. Blueberries.
Love that too.
Blueberries are high in fiber and vitamin K again, and they protect the brain from toxins and degeneration and stress.
So interesting enough, it's hard to get fresh blueberries that are not cultivated.
Right.
So, I mean, again, better than nothing, but if you can get the wild caught, most of them are coming from Canada, because even at Trader Joe's, they'll sell the frozen blueberries, and it's from Canada.
Right.
And Costco used to have the really big bags of blueberries, which I always buy when I'm in Florida. I can't buy them when I'm in Canada because I have a very tiny little freezer. So I have to buy everything fresh. But in Florida, I'll buy the big bags of blueberries, and because I like to have my smoothies when I'm there. But they also are wild caught. And believe it or not, you know how expensive blueberries are, Andrew. If you go up north and you see them all alongside the road,
I get them every year.
Yeah, very expensive to buy the basket of them. I find, they're freshly picked, because we used to pick them as kids, you know, make a picnic and go all across the lake and pick blueberries all day. The thing is now, buying them frozen, they're flash frozen, so you're getting them really in peak performance kind of thing. And it's so much cheaper than what we would pay to buy a quart of blueberries, or, you know, how many quarts you're buying. It is so expensive that way, and yet these stores are able to get in bulk these nice blueberries and flash freeze them, and you get the benefit of them. So they can be frozen and not have to be fresh. So
great. So now a couple of things to add to, like if you're making dinner or whatever. Turmeric. That's been really popular lately. That boosts overall immunity, and it helps oxygen intake into the brain. Rosemary protects the brain from the effects of neurodegeneration, and it also protects against strokes and macular degeneration for the eyes, which I found very interesting.
And you know, I made a curry on the weekend, and I have turmeric in my house because, you know, I have turmeric for a lot of reasons, and I never even thought about putting it in because it came from the chef's box and they had the spices, and I never thought to add extra turmeric because that is so healthy for you.
Right.
And now you reminded me, I got to remember to keep that out when I'm making certain dishes to add it to.
Another superfood is coconut oil, and this helps boost memory and cognitive function. And lately, because of Dr. Gundry, I was always, before I was drinking the almond milk or the oat milk, but now he's saying coconut milk is much better for your body, because coconut has so many good things, whether you get it in the oil or the milk.
I do have MCT oil, and that's an oil you can just take a spoonful. And I was listening to another webinar that this guy was talking, and he goes, and if you need a boost of the brain, just go take a tablespoon of MCT oil.
Well, Dr. Grundy was saying, if you haven't taken it, when you start taking the MCT oil, because some of the
and you don't cook with this oil.
No. Some of the side effects can be upset stomach, vomiting, diarrhea.
Wow.
So you have to take it in, start off with a teaspoon, if you can tolerate a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon, and build your body up to it. And don't take more than 4 tablespoons a day, they're saying. So if you're deciding to add these things to your
Yeah, 'cause
diet.
you can put it into your smoothie as well. I
Right.
used to do that
Right.
once in a while.
Just
Yeah.
Google it and make sure that
Did not know that,
you're
though.
doing, yes. Mhm.
And I guess because from the time when I heard about it, and this was a few years ago, I've been taking it, but I've never had an issue. So I didn't even know there
Right.
were side
There
effects.
can be, yeah.
Wow.
And of course,
interesting.
green tea, it helps mental clarity and cognitive function. Oranges are very high in vitamin C. They improve the blood flow to the brain, improve focus and decision speed, which I found really good. And it fights free radicals that can damage the brain. Kale is another one, if you can stomach it.
Well, I was going to say, do you remember when kale salads were so
Oh,
popular?
yes.
Everywhere you went, and I mean, even I was serving kale salad because it was different.
Right.
Now,
Not
I'm
so
sort of
much.
off that trend right
Right.
now, and I'm onto other salads, but
That's
I did
right.
it for a long time.
But it does have a lot of good things.
stuff. Well, most of the green stuff
vitamin K,
They do anyway.
iron, vitamin B6, a lot of good things. Ginseng helps control anxiety and depression.
Well,
Olive oil. So, of course,
Yes.
that's got vitamin E and K, lower stress and anxiety.
I practically only cook with olive oil, and I
Same with
noticed
me.
yesterday I was using it, and it's a big bottle, and I'm only one person, but I go through it a lot. I have this much, left, and I thought, oh, I got to make a run to Costco.
Well,
and make
every
sure
time I
get
go to
it.
Costco, I make sure I have it. I
Yeah.
never run out.
No.
I don't want to run out.
No.
Anyways, that's a long list, but there's many more things out there in the grocery stores that you can add. Some people like more exotic foods, but look them up, research,
Yeah.
find out what your body needs, and try to get it in there.
It's a good point that you said, what your body, because your neighbor, your friend, or your relatives are doing some things, it might not be suitable
yeah,
for you.
might
And
not
there's
work.
a big variety of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
some
figure
people
it out.
can tolerate things, some people
Yes.
can't. Like the broccoli, the cauliflower. It bloats people. It can give you gas. Some people can't tolerate
Yeah.
it. So find another
Yeah.
way to get that those nutrients in your body.
That's true. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you did, we want you to
Like
share.
and please subscribe.
You can't do it without you. I'm Linda.
And I'm Andrea.
Until next week.
Bye. Hi, ladies. Just popping in to let you know we are now on Spotify. If you don't have time to sit and listen, or watch, and a lot of us are busy. It's a busy time of year. Please download us and listen to us in your car while you're taking a walk, jogging,
Cooking like you have to do.
what I do in the kitchen. I do that a lot. So I hope you'll come and have a listen and enjoy our program.
So it's Linda and Andrea, Success in Women. You can find us out there. Hope you enjoy.
Bye.